Good afternoon from Scotland.
You know, because he's the tallest man in Scottish rugby. But having said that, there's a boy playing against him today who's even taller than him. So it's asking a lot of Doddy, unless he gets the protection from the props.
Well, as we can see, John, the All Blacks are now taking the field here at Neverdale for this afternoon's match. So let's immediately hand you over to our commentary team this afternoon, Sean Lenine and Bill McLaren.
And from our commentary position on the terracing side of this Netherdale ground, welcome to the home of Gala Rugby Football Club. That, as you can tell, is a buzz with anticipation at the prospect of the first of the All Blacks' 4 games in Scotland. Both sides having taken the field in the most gorgeous conditions. And with the exception of Brian Rennick for the under-the-weather Carroll Hogg, the Southfield, the side who won the district championship last month, plenty of pace in that back division. Michael Dodds in sizzling form in attack augmentation. A heavy responsibility on Craig Chalmers. The pack concede a lot of beef. Doddy Weir, a key line-out figure. A combative loose-forward trio. And, of course, the captain is Robbie Brown. And all the players lining up for this traditional start to any New Zealand game. The New Zealanders ready to perform their haka. Number 7 there is the captain for today, the inimitable Zinzan Brooke of Auckland, one of the 7 Auckland players in this side. And a great cheer for the New Zealanders there. One of the sentences is the New Zealand storm is about to break, and a lot of opponents have said you can say that again. And the return after injury of the youthful prodigy Lee Stesnes is a feature of this New Zealand selection that carries 9 cat men, power and pace in the back division, a massive pack, a line-out ranging from 6'3" to 6'8", and the captain, Zinzan Brooke, in his 60th game in the All Blacks jersey. Referee today is David Matthews of the England panel, a 45-year-old PE teacher at De La Salle School in St Helens, a member of the Liverpool Society. So in these gorgeous conditions, we're all set to start this match between the Scottish District Champions and the World Cup Champions of 1987. Shane Howard, the New Zealand fullback, gets the game going right away, and in there went Robbie Brown to try and clean it up. Very good kick-off indeed, the pick-up by Preston out to Bashop. Bashop with the first punt of the day, taken by Michael Dodds. And Michael Dodds on his home ground gets in a good safe kick to touch, no great distance, but he did the important thing was he found his touch. So the conditions here are absolutely gorgeous. The Netherdale pitch in very good condition. The sun a bit of a problem for the New Zealanders actually. The South may have opted to take the direction so that the New Zealanders had the sun in their eyes in the first half. Preston feeding out. On there goes Arone Clark, almost up to the South 22. Now it's Preston once again. Good ball here for Bashop. On there to the big fellow, Marty Berry. And once again, fed out from Preston to Bashop. Stensnes with that little chip kick. An awkward one for Tony Stanger. He lost it in the sun, and that will give you an impression of how difficult it is playing as the All Blacks are playing at the moment.
That was good play, Bill, by the self-defence there. They managed to drift across, Graham Shield and Scott Nicol going across and making sure they didn't have an overlap from that situation.
So it's this scrummage will be just inside the South 22. Brief stoppage for a moment because there's an injury away over on the far side of the field in the lee of the stand. Looks as if Hamish Hunter may have pulled a hamstring by the way that he was acting. Hamish Hunter, who's the captain of the Gala Club, so he's playing on his own home crowd, on his own ground before his own home crowd, and although not a very big, powerful fellow, he's a very good, solid scrummager. So a lovely pick-up there by the number 8 forward, John Mitchell of Waikato. Now the feed on there, the drive. by the inimitable, and he's becoming inimitable, Norman Hewitt. And it's a loud blast for infringing on the floor, clearly preventing fair clearance. But you can see here how New Zealand are using their big forwards to run at the South's midfield. Both of the South midfield men had to go in to tackle Norman Hewitt there. And of course the result is the infringement and a penalty. That's Norman Hewitt. Storming Norman, they call him. He really is a great personality on this tour. And so it's Shane Howarth with the chance to put the New Zealanders into the lead. He's already kicked a couple of penalty goals on this tour against the Midland Division, where New Zealand won by 12 points to 6. Very good day for goal kicking because there's hardly any breeze at all. Shane Howarth then absolutely straight and true, and so the 25-year-old puts the first points on the board. 3 points to 0. They've played barely 4 minutes.
It's interesting to note, Bill, that the All Blacks aren't looking to score tries off first or second phase ball. You're looking at about third, fourth, or even fifth phase ball. This is where they use the big forwards to hit down the middle, suck in the middle men there, and then spread it wide.
Craig Chalmers with 33 caps gets it started. Back there to Hewitt, and again he takes it in neat and tidy. Preston using the narrow side. That's very high up to Michael Dodge waiting. Up there comes Ronnie Clark. Back there goes Chalmers. Gary Parker got it from his clubmate Chalmers, but the very quick follow-up by the All Blacks there. Lee Stensnes, the youngster who made such an impression against the British Lions in the third test over there. So that's the South 22. Norman Hewitt of Hawke's Bay, the only Hawke's Bay representative, and he'll be 25 tomorrow, so he'll fancy celebrating with a try, I would think. New Zealand with tremendous line-out resources here. Richard Froment is 6'8". He's the tallest in the field, and they're driving Zinzan Brooke, getting up almost to within 10 metres. Now it's Preston, the drive on there by Mitchell, the number 8 forward, and now nicely out to Bashop along to Stensnes. Stensnes had Ronnie Clark there. South in desperate straits here as it goes out to Bashop, along there to Berry, but Berry very well tackled indeed by Nicol. And Shane Howarth, the fullback, was up in that as well. All Black forwards rumbling and rolling. They've got all the weight advantage. It's a try for New Zealand. They've rolled it over. You almost felt it was bound to happen. And guess who? Norman Hewitt, the scorer. It's 8-0.
That was a great try by Norman Hewitt there. Tremendous defence once again by Scott Nicol. Just rolling around there, too strong, too much bulk up front.
You can see here how the New Zealanders form such an effective shield. And Hewitt really just had to go through the great boys in front of him. And a super try for them. And a very typical New Zealand try, because I work it out that their forwards are something like 2 stones a man heavier. And they'll use that very effectively, although it's been a joy to see them also spinning the ball wide. Shane Howarth, who plays for the Marish Club in Auckland, one of the 7 Auckland players in this New Zealand side. There are 10 altogether on the tour. Howarth struck it very well indeed. That's a lovely effort. He really is on song, the young fella. So it's 10 points to 0. They've barely played 7 minutes.
It's amazing, Bill, how they keep the ball alive all the time. You thought the move had broken down there, especially out wide there where the tackles were put in, but they managed to keep the ball in play, keep it alive, and roll over for the try.
Craig Chalmers using a kick to almost to the blind side, as it were, and Doddy Weir was up very quickly indeed. Knocked over Eric Rush as he went in to catch it, so that was a little surprise move that the South have had up their sleeves. The drop out to the less inhabited side, as it were. brother crowd shouting on them to get on with the throwing. But Norman Hewitt taking his time about it. Captain Hawke's Bay when they beat the Lions this season. And a good bit of work at the front by Gordon. And John Preston, instead of heaving the ball out to put his backs under pressure, just went in under the umbrella of the forwards. And there they are, they have control of it. Blair Larson trying to get out from the south side. There he is, he goes round back. You notice how they drive in behind the rear feet as they have to do nowadays. Zinzan Brooke decides to try and maul it the other way. And this all aiming to take the steam out of the south forward along the line to Berry from Stensness. And that's a monstrous kick by the big centre.
Perfect example of control there, Bill. You thought the ball may have gone back to Stephen Basher, but no, they still had the audacity to spin it wide out to Marty Berry, who done a magnificent wipers kick right across to the far touchline.
Temporary replacement on for the south of Scotland. Hunter was injured early on, and Scott McComb of Selkirk has come on, and that's his debut for the south of Scotland in a big match like this. Nicely fed out along the line there to Chalmers from Redpath. That's the highest of the day so far. Ronnie Clark goes across. Gary Parker has missed him, and Clark, with that surging power and pace of his, gets up into south territory. Once again, quality ball for Preston out to Bashop. Bashop angling his punt across. Eric Rush coming along very quickly indeed. Michael Dodds had very little time indeed and very little angle as well. So there's Steve Bishop, who's plays for Otago, of course, and he's bidding for his place in the test side. He's played 4 times for Western Samoa in the World Cup. So this is 5 metres inside the South 22. Robbie Brown at the front. Beautifully knocked back by Larson onto Stensness. Stensness to Eric Rush. He runs into Derek Turnbull, still inside the South 22. Preston Burrows, well tackled by John Amos. But again, the big black umbrella goes in. Forward sticking so close together, and there's the power driving once more. The rolling maul, keeping it moving. Zinzan Brooke tries to indicate that he doesn't want to be caught for offside. And the roll and the maul is still going now. Somebody will burst out of that. Here they're going the other way. This is excellent mauling by the New Zealand forwards. They've gained something like 20 metres almost up to the line, and it's a loud blast for the try. Once again, a pure forward try all the way. Zinzan Brooke the scorer. The captain has done it, and the All Blacks are running away.
They're just keeping the ball alive, Bill. You can see them just turning again there. Zinzan Brooke holding it at the back, coming around, spinning straight across for the try with backup from Graham Purvis at prop.
Well, the biggest score by the New Zealanders against the South is 32-0, but already there are signs that they might be on the way to having more than that. Conversion attempt by Shane Howarth. He's playing in his 3rd game in the All Blacks jersey, and Howarth is celebrating with another successful kick. 3 out of 3 so far, and it's 17 points to 0, and they've played just 11 minutes of the first half. It was typical All Black mauling play. They drive one way, and then quite suddenly, with the ball still under control, they take it the other way. And it's so difficult for the lighter pack to deal with because they're not allowed to pull the maul down. Once again, it's the All Blacks on the attack, up towards the South 22, right from the kickoff. Michael Dodds having to look very slippy there to get it into touch. And this very lightly built lad, 5 feet 10, 11 stone 6, is going to have a busy afternoon by the look of it. Brother, of course, of Peter Dodds, the British Lions fullback. So the throw in by Hewitt. Went at the back for Zinzan Brooke. Preston got it tackled by Chalmers. Still on the South 22. Once again, once they get the ball in their hands, it's Bishop feeding out there. Stensness with a drop goal attempt. Just pulled it past the left hand upright. There's Lee Stensness, another of the Auckland players. He had played for the Suburbs Club and made a meteoric rise into international fame when he played against the Lions in the third test and was a resounding success. Chalmers with a nice little quick tap out there to Shield. Shield to Nicol. Nicol, the half dummy, and Eric Rush robs him. Getting support from Hewitt again. Stensness over the South 22 once more. Fed out very quickly to Bishop. Bishop trying the high up and under. Didn't go quite far enough forward. Very good bit of work there by Brian Rennick, but the ball being knocked out of his hands. Preston inside to Stensness again. They're still only 15 metres from the south line. And once more they'll be going for the rolling maul try. They've only about 10 metres to go. South forwards having a desperate job to try and stop them. The weight is there, the technique is there, the application is there. And when you're 2 stones a man lighter, you often have to infringe to try and stop the roll, which is what the South have done, and it's another penalty.
Brian Reddick and Dottie Ware there tried to get in between the All Black rolling maul there, and it worked to a certain extent, trying to kill the ball, as the All Blacks do so well. But unfortunately, they had to give away the penalty.
You can see once again here that once the All Black forwards get the ball in their hands and are close, the South really had to go in and try and handle the ball away, and were thus penalised. It can be a free kick, actually, if you handle in a ruck, but if you do so and prevent the other team from winning ball, then it becomes a penalty. Huge crowd here. They reckon probably about 10,000-12,000. Biggest crowd in Netherdale for a long, long time. That's the temporary stand over there that holds about 500. And all round the ground, a buzz of excitement, and certainly a buzz of acclaim for the way the All Blacks are putting their game together. Shane Howard. Oh, he's drawn it round. He can't miss this fella. 4 out of 4. 20 points to 0. They've played 15 minutes.
It's all about getting the ball. They have to get the ball to the South backs. Nothing's coming their way at the moment. There has been one ball in Craig Chalmers' hands all game so far.
Chalmers restarts, rather a long one. Steve Gordon got that one for the All Blacks, neat and tidy, but it was a fairly simple one because he had room and time. Preston waiting. It's the All Blacks 22. Back to Bishop. Gary Parker is back there on halfway, gives it to Michael Dodds. That's hoisted. Dodds up quickly. Beautifully taken by Zinzan Brooke. On there to Gordon. All Blacks just inside their own 22. And once again taking control up front. Preston waits for delivery. It's like chocolate bars from a slot machine watching this All Black pack feed the ball back. And Bishop once again this time finds his touch.
I think Michael Dodds would have been better keeping the ball in play in that particular area of play. Putting the high ball up, it wasn't a very good idea. Zinzan Brooke took it quite easily, and as a result they've cleared it down to near the halfway.
Throw in midway between halfway and the New Zealand 22. Doddy Weir gets up there. Brian Redpath goes back in amongst the forwards. Now can the border forward produce a rolling maul such as the All Blacks have done? They're certainly trying, but of course they don't have the weight or the sort of upper body strength perhaps, but it's they've got a penalty out of it. Great roars all around the ground. Offside. And there Norman Hewitt was burrowing in there like not like a little mole, like a big mole. He's a hefty lad, 17 stones. It's a massive New Zealand pack. All of the front row are 17 stones or over. And the average out at 17-2, the tight 5, so that gives you some indication of what the South are up against. Meanwhile, in front of the stand there is Gary Parker. I will enjoy watching this fella because wherever he is on the field, in his goal kicking, he gives the ball some thump. And he's done it there, and it looks not too bad, but it's wideish. Now she's taken by Berry. Berry with a lovely left footer, using the wrong foot actually, but that's the strong one, and it went into touch very nicely.
Interesting to note there, Bill, that Marty Berry had 3 or 4 support players around him, and his last option was always to kick.
Jim Hay there to throw in, one of the 4 Hoyt men in the south side. Long one to the back, went to Rennick. It's been pinched there by John Mitchell. And once again, the All Blacks are in control of it. Mark Allen trying to roll round, helped there by Richard Froment. In goes Graham Purvis, number 3, to lend a bit of 17 stones odd. There he goes, driving on with Blair Larson in front of him. Over halfway, the great Black Mountain rolls forward, now eventually to Bashop. Out to Berry, along the line to Eroni Clark. That's the fullback, Shane Howard in the line. Tackled by Chalmers, on beautifully to Berry. Quick fire stuff, great handling by the All Blacks here. And that was a great mixture of both forward drive and widespread.
Great play there. Straight through his hands, straight out to Shane Howard, the fullback. He still managed to cut inside, keep the ball alive, but then it was lost after Marty Berry managed to make another 10 yards. Good tackle.
David Matthews there, the referee, is a fellow of small stature, but just making his way. He's on into England's international panel in December '92. He's done several A internationals, and we'll be hoping for one of the big ones this season. Just on the South 22. Brian Redpath to Chalmers. Chalmers, good vision. He noticed that Shane Howard was away over on the other side, and that's a very big kick indeed. Across comes Howard. He's got Eric Rush inside him. Rush is so desperately quick. Lovely pass out to Bashop. Bashop dancing on, but the pass wasn't a good one. Referee waiting for advantage, I think. Now it's fed back from Rennick. Rennick to Redpath. Redpath is kicked to Howard. There was a chance to handle there. This is Howard. Switching on to Eric Rush. Good tackle again by Chalmers. This is Marty Berry once more to Bashop. New Zealand 10 metres line. Mitchell takes it on for the All Blacks. Now it's Preston once again. The switch again to Bashop. And Bashop seeking a touch at the corner. Goes to Michael Dodds. And Dodds safe and sure. Again, not a long touch kick, but a safe one. So that's the situation with the first quarter of the match gone. Just 20 minutes played. And the All Blacks with a couple of tries nicely tucked away.
It's good to see the All Blacks ahead to run the ball. It's a bit like Sevens there for a while. They're obviously looking to keep the ball alive and keep it in play.
Steve Gordon's doing some great work at the number 2 position in the line out for the New Zealanders. Ball just knocked forward. Well, that gives you a clear indication of how the All Blacks have got 20 points, doesn't it? Chalmers again from Redpath. The 2 Melrose halfbacks there, of course, and they've got a fairly clever Melrose club triangle there in midfield, because they've Redpath, Chalmers, and then Graham Shield, the inside centre, also plays for the Melrose club. But they could well do with a bit more tidy ball. South 10 metres line. Again, Gordon, tremendous form at the front of the line. Out Bashop to Stensnes. Then there's to Eric Rush. Eric Rush so quick, so elusive, almost up to the 22. On there goes Mitchell, who's getting into the handling play a lot. Lovely reverse pass to Bashop to Stensnes. Stensnes, well caught there. Brian Redpath gets it on his own 22. And now a good tackle by Brian Rennick, but the drive by Steve Gordon. Preston, Bashop, missed out Stensnes. On there to Larson, still onto the South 22. Roll away, shouts the referee. And very interesting to hear the referee's comments. David Matthews, who is providing preventive refereeing again, trying to remind the players about the laws, telling them what they should and shouldn't do. That's the great problem for referees, is to be fair to each side in that respect. But certainly giving them a chance to cut down on the number of penalties.
You can see them moving forward here. The All Blacks going over the top, trying to get the ball back. The ball staying down there. Derek Turnbull going across, giving the All Blacks a bit of their own medicine there. No surprise to see big sticks at the bottom of the ruck there.
Blair Larson got a bit of a lick there, but he seems to be all right. Interesting to see a lock forward of 6'6" playing as a flanker. Remember, France once played Olivier Rouma as a flanker, and he's 6'7". Chalmers with a huge one. Shane Howarth coping well with the sun, and very well tackled there indeed by Gary Parker, by Tony Stanger. But it's once again the All Blacks to Bishop. Stensness, Ronnie Clark. Stensness once again, lovely handling to Bishop. Bishop, so clever, and it's Marty Berry going. The feed on there, and it's a lovely try. The New Zealanders are walking away with this match completely. Wonderful performance by them. Steve Bishop, the try scorer. It's their third try of the match. And if you watch the ball transference here, it was brilliant stuff.
Fantastic ball play, interplay between the backs here, keeping the ball alive, even with a hit there. Great tackle by Scott Nicol. Ronnie Clark kept the ball alive. Steve Bishop cutting inside Craig Chalmers, finding the outside Marty Berry there, couldn't quite get there, but great support play again from Stephen Bishop. Fantastic try. All Black rugby at its best.
You see there how quickly they shifted the ball away, and this Bishop is such a slippery little fellow. Marty Berry, big and strong, and managing to get the ball out of the tackle. Superb stuff. And Shane Howarth, who had the goal-kicking duties, and you can see how well he's performed them so far. Shane Howarth in his third game in an All Blacks jersey. Crowd would tell you, oh, he's done it again. I'm sure he could kick goals in his bare feet and with his eyes shut the way he's going today. 27-0 it is. They've played 25 minutes.
Yeah, the ball coming up. Steve Bishop doing a miss-one pass, which he does quite a bit. Straight out to the outside centre. Ronnie Clark, Lee Stesnes, quick hands. Steve Bishop, one of the great parts about his play is that he backs up. And once again, there he is out wide. A certainty for the first test against Scotland.
So from the kick-off there, the All Blacks trying to work it again, and referee David Matthews looking behind to check that there's no offside. Michael Dodds. Dodds still. On to Amos, his Gala clubmate. He's tackled by Zinzan Brooke. Loud blast because the body went over.
There's Michael Dodds running. He's a really elusive runner in loose play. Out to John Amos.
The South have gone for the tap penalty. Brian Redpath taken on there by Robbie Brown. Redpath again to Chalmers. A chance here. Chalmers half through. Feeding on there beautifully to Scott Nicol. They're within a few metres. The big crowd here really rising to this effort by the South. But once again, the All Blacks on the counter-attack through Lee Stensness. Stensness inside there to Ronnie Clark. Howarth going. Great tackle there by Tony Stanger, cutting across to the far side. Right wing tackling on the left. But there the drive on there by Hewitt, who came up like a road roller. And now along the line to Zinzan Brooke. There's still a chance here to Eric Rush. Rush cuts inside Nicol. Gives it on to Bishop. Bishop once more to Preston on the South 22. Well, that's a bit of New Zealand rucking style for you. Bishop feeding out to Zinzan Brooke to Stensness. Stensness to Eroni Clark. Still inside the 22. It could be a try for Shane Howard, the fullback, and he is home. The fourth try of the match for Shane Howard, who's having a day to remember here. A try, and so far 5 successful goals. 32-0. They've played 28 minutes.
Well, here they go again. The big long passes out wide. Lee Stesnes thought about kicking, kept it alive, and this man, Eroni Clark, he can just stay on his feet all the time. Great transference of ball from Lee Stesnes. And Shane Howard scoots in the corner.
I think the great point about it here was the way that the ball was first taken in by Eroni Clark, who straightened things up, and then the fact that the All Blacks work ball out of the tackle so well. They stay on their feet so well in the tackle. And no wonder the supporters there are enjoying what they're seeing.
Lee Stesnes seems to bring a different dimension to the All Blacks back play. He's a very good ball player. You'll notice he's been involved in the last 2 tries with the way he's managed to give quick flick passes and keeping the ball alive, which is very important.
So Shane Howard away out there on that far touchline. No, just going past. But what a situation for the All Blacks. 32 points to 0 they lead. And we're not at half-time yet. Any vantage point will do when the All Blacks come to the borders. Chalmers. Once again, the All Blacks are in charge. However, good for the South to have won it. Redpath trying to work it. Chalmers gives it to Amos, but a deliberate knock-on, however, against the All Blacks there, the referee said, and that had been changed to a free kick offence. However, he's had a straight arm, so it's a penalty, and Craig Chalmers looking for touch at the corner, but it's gone much too far, and that's a real waste of a kick, and young Chalmers, who's very self-critical, won't be happy about that one. They've played half an hour, and it's 32-0. Shane Howard, a youngster who broke his neck in a diving accident when a teenager, so delighted to be playing rugby. Richard Froment got hands to that first of all, the big 6'8" lock forward. John Preston heaves it high. Tony Stanger waits. Eric Rush went for the ball there, but a lovely bit of skill there by Zinzan Brooke, the New Zealand captain. So Scott McComb of Selkirk has stayed on the field as the tight head prop forward. Hamish Hunter being injured. Chalmers controlled it well. And a nice touch there from the referee David Matthews, calling to the players. That was a good scrum, he said. Keep it there, meaning try to keep it up off the floor.
That's a shame that the ball bobbled back along to Craig Chalmers, because I saw him nod to Tony Stanger. He would have given the ball to Tony straight away to give Tony a crack at Eric Rush.
New Zealand 10 metres line. Yeah, Scottish referees would tend to ask for a bigger gap than that. They like more than a metre because they know the players will move in any case. Marvellous jump again by Gordon. He's simply dominating the front of the line out. And of course it's super possession because it's caught ball and it gives the All Blacks so many options. Now it's out to Basha, missed everybody. And Ellis is on the field, number 17, a replacement for New Zealand. That's out to Eroni Clark. Got there by Michael Dodds. Good surge on by Brian Rennick, the number 8 forward, into New Zealand territory. Pick up and drive by Robbie Brown, who led the south of Scotland to their championship this season. That's Chalmers with the high one. Across comes Howarth and called for it. Not surprising in a way that he didn't catch it, because he was looking up into the sun. Referee shouting, keep on your feet. He's reminding the players, you'll notice, about their offside positions in the backs. Preston to Bishop. Michael Dodds, quick throw in, out to Parker. Parker punting for space behind Eric Rush. Rush slices. Michael Dodds. Dodds chased there by Rush and caught by him, on to Rennick. Rennick surges on. The pick-up and feed by Amos, out to Doddy Weir. A crunching tackle there by Zinzan Brooke, almost up to the New Zealand 22. Redpath robs it through, and Howard makes the save. So this young fella's having a pretty good day, apart from that one bit of mishandling, which was excusable.
It's great play by the South forwards there. Tremendous work. Brian Redpath getting the ball away quickly. If only they could have kept it in the hand just one more time. But it's interesting to note that the All Blacks try and slow down the second phase position.
Lovely David Matthews telling the All Blacks, you've got a scrum which is better than a penalty kick. So all part of the effort of the referee to provide continuity in the play and to reduce the number of stoppages. Keep it up, says the referee. And certainly the scrummages have gone pretty well in relation to collapsing so far. Referee has to shout engage, of course, to let them know when they may go down. Brian Redpath robbed his man round the corner there. Went slightly forward. And it'll be a south put in. Now the number of options on here, they're only 10, 12 metres out.
If you watch Tony Stanger, I'm sure he'll be involved in this move somewhere close to the scrum to set the ball up. The ball should come straight out of the scrum. They won't hold it at the back. They'll try and get it out as quickly as possible.
Tony Stanger is actually positioned, ready to come into the centre, and that's Scott Nichol along the line to Michael Dodd. Out there to Parker. Parker for the corner. A great score by the little fellow from Melrose. Gary Parker, the scorer. And that's the first try by the south of Scotland against the All Blacks since 1935, believe it or not. The crowd are thrilled, as you can see.
Great play there. Tony Stanger, you can see the All Black defence watching Tony Stanger come across, keeping him in check. Good pace by Michael Dodds again, committing the winger. And Gary Parker will be delighted with that one in the corner. Great dive.
And the try scorer has a shot at kicking the goal. He's already scored 93 of Melrose's 188 points in National League games this season. Just watch the belt he gives it. Well, he got underneath it just a little bit, and he's pushed it wide as well. He's not in his best kicking form, but 32 points to 5, and it was a super try. Tony Stanger was the decoy man, and it was the perfect timing of the pass there by Michael Dodds. He brought his man onto him and gave Gary Parker a clear run to the line. The last time a South player scored a try against the All Blacks was in 1935. Tony McKee of Hawick and Duncan Shaw of Gala were the try scorers. The New Zealanders won by 11 points to 8. And since then, all the South have done is scored 3 penalty goals and a drop goal in 4 matches. However, it's Hewitt bustling on, as always. A drive again by Mark Allen. The bull from Taranaki, they call him. Now it's Stensness, big lad. Out there to the fullback, Howard. This is Ronnie Clark. Up to the South 22. The referee shouting, roll away. And that really is helping the game to keep going. But again, lovely ball fed out to Stensnes. Long there to Ellis. Ellis to Howard. Howard has Rush outside him. Rush coming inside. And Rush almost to the line. It could be a chance for Bishop. Steve Gordon being knocked backwards. But they're within 10 metres of the south line again. Well, second phase ball won 34-9 for the All Blacks. That really is dominance, such as we very seldom see in a top-class match like this. And it shows that those All Black forwards are doing some wonderful stuff. The pick up there by John Mitchell of Waikato into Zinzan Brooke. Zinzan Brooke has got over, and the All Blacks captain has scored his second try of the match. And that's the reply that the South get for having the audacity to score a try against them.
Once again, John Mitchell drawing Brian Rennick, not even looking where he was passing, straight into Zinzan Brooke. Good fend, just too strong, and underneath the post.
It was a little bit unlucky there for Brian Redpath, but John Mitchell certainly made the most of it. And one feature is the way they use one hand to move the ball away. Howard with the conversion. And so young Howard is piling up the points, and so are the All Blacks. 39-5, with about a minute to go to the break, plus a bit of injury time. Howard with a try, 2 penalties and 4 conversions so far. Chalmers with the restart. The South played it before it had gone the 10 metres. The All Blacks asked for the scrummage. And I think those border forwards will be very pleased to hear the half-time whistle, because they've really been put through the mincer in various areas of the game. The line-out has been dominated essentially by Steve Gordon. The mauling has been very powerful and effective. It was John Mitchell with the pick-up again, and now out to Ellis. Ellis, who's desperately quick and big. This is the replacement on the field. He's looking for the support coming up. Taken again by Zinzan Brooke as he made it a third try. He has reached over and got a third score. And the captain is having a day of days.
Fantastic injection of pace there from Mark Ellis. Fends off the tackler, straight through. You can see the brilliant support coming up on the inside there. He stops. That's awareness for you. Straight into Zinzan Brooke, takes it one-handed, and just manages to stretch over for the try one-handed again.
Yes, it was that injection of pace, all right. Mark Ellis, who played standoff just the other day, but here in the centre. And you'll notice he knew the support would be there. He was quite prepared to wait for it coming. He knew it would be there. And it came from his skipper, Zinzan Brooke.
Brian Redpath's having a great game. You could see him get back there and make the tackle on Zinzan Brooke, even though he managed to get over for the try. And he's been harrying around the scrums as well. I think he's having a cracking game today.
Well, that's the view the South players will have of this attempted conversion from Shane Howard. Lovely blue sky up there. Great conditions for rugby football, and we're seeing some great play. Howard. He's done it again. That's quite extraordinary how that young fella is doing it as the whistle goes for half-time. And the All Blacks reached that with an incredible lead of 46 points to 5. And that's been, what, 6 beautiful tries, Sean?
Yeah, some fantastic rugby play today. The big thing is with the All Black side is that they keep the ball alive. And although the South team are actually putting the tackles in, it's the weight of the tackle. They're still managing to get the ball away in the pass. And that's what it's all about. And they are managing to put together some fantastic passages of play and treating the big crowd here to some great tries.
Oh, what a stunning first half display by New Zealand. 46 points to 5, 6 tries to 1 ahead. John, we're watching the game from behind the All Blacks line, and we've watched a game which has taken place about 80 yards away from us most of the time, aren't we?
Yeah, we thought with the sun coming this way, most of the game we played in this half, but I'm shell-shocked like the Scottish players. But, I mean, that's an awesome display. And I think it's possibly the control of the All Blacks. You know, they get the ball, one man's got it, but it's the control they have. They don't panic, they wait till the rest of them regroup, and then they put the ball back, and it's total control.
It's almost embarrassing to say, but it almost looks a mismatch at the moment, and yet this is Scotland's best district side and the Wednesday side.
Yeah,
for the All Blacks.
I'm afraid you're right, Dougie, it is. But when you look at the calibre of players, as Bill's already said, 2 stone a man heavier in the forwards. And they're not big, fat, cumbersome forwards. They're talented boys, they're running up and down the length of the park, they're showing ball control. I'm afraid it possibly is a bit of a mismatch.
We'll pick out just one try, John, because it maybe typifies just exactly what All Blacks rugby is all about. The South very nearly crossed the line down here, and the ball was kept alive for 2 or 3 minutes almost and produced a try at the other end.
Yeah, that was typical of the All Blacks. I mean, it was later on in the play here. This is, as I said, the South should have scored down that end. The All Blacks didn't panic, came back up the end. I can't remember the number of hands it went through before the fullback came up and scored out there. Shane Howard was having a tremendous game.
Yeah, and of course everything's going for him because Shane Howell's having a wonderful kicking day as well.
I think he missed one kick to the match earlier on. But you say, I said earlier on, it was a Wednesday team, but a lot of them today are putting their case forward to get included in the test team a week on Saturday.
Yes, that's interesting because before the game we thought, well, there's only really 3 or 4 of this side you would expect to play in the test side, but there's a lot of them actually throwing their cap into the ring, isn't there?
Yeah, well, one of them, Zinzan, he's already scored a hat-trick of tries. But I mean, it's the support of the forwards again. So they don't panic, but they get out there. And as Sean was saying earlier on, they don't try and score off first phase. Drive it on with the forwards. Norman Hewitt, the hooker rather, is driving on. Waits, the rest of the forwards drive over. They take out, you know, the half-back. They take out Craig Chalmers, take out Graham Shield, then put the ball wide. And it's simple passing, straightforward running, and draw the man, pass out, and the support's always there as well. It's good rugby to watch.
So 40 minutes still to go for the South. Obviously, it's a damage limitation exercise now.
I'm afraid it is. You know, what does the captain say to his team when this is happening? Is to say they've been totally dominated in the forwards. They can't win any ball at all. And what ball they've done, we thought they would kick, and they did kick into the sun, but Bill Black still caught it, rushed off the supposed South tacklers, and then ran away, and as you say, scored up the other end. So I would think the South will try and run it a bit more in the second half. As you say, they've got nothing to lose. They'll get a few more tries on the board, they'll get a wee bit of respect back. But I'm afraid it's going to be a long second half for them.
Certainly is. Well, let's go back out then and just see what the second 40-minute period will bring. An astonishing half-time scoreline, 46-5. New Zealand leading the south of Scotland. Let's go back to Sean Lenine and to Bill McLaren.
And to think that the South have to face the sun in this second half as if things weren't bad enough as it is. South actually have quite a good record against national touring side. They played 22 of them, won 4. Lost 15, drawn 3, and the biggest defeat they've ever had was by that 32-0 by the New Zealanders in 1954, on this very ground here. They did lose to the New South Wales Waratahs in 1927 by 36-0. So a fairly subdued Netherdale crowd as Craig Chalmers gets the second half started, and a great jump there by Blair Larson, the big lock forward who's playing as a flanker, number 6 there. And once again, the caught ball, giving all kinds of options, enabling them to use the driving maul first of all. Doddy Weir, number 5, trying to wrench an arm clear. But once more, it's Preston. He's not his best kick of the day, put it straight out, but lovely ball. And it must be an absolute joy for John Preston to play behind this pack. He's the lad in possession of the All Black scrum half jersey at the moment, but of course being pressed very hard indeed by Stu Forster, the Otago scrum half. Brian Redpath gives it to Jim Hay.
Well, they certainly needed that ball. If they had got that out to the South backs, I'm sure they would have run it. Unfortunately, Brian Redpath knocked on at the base of the scrum.
Is on the New Zealand 10 metres line. It's again Preston, that's a better kick. In behind Gary Parker, Michael Dodge waits. Once again looking into the sun. That was straight into it, so some excuse for him. A bit untidy initially there, but Zinzan Brooke tidies it up. What a pass from him to Bishop to Stensness to Rush. On beautifully to Ellis. Ellis almost up to the 22, out to Howard. Howard, who one of the top try scorers in provincial rugby from fullback last season for Auckland. It's Zinzan Brooke again with that long throw out to Larson. Larson running past the tackle of Scott Nicholl into the South 22. Preston once again, Bishop, Ellis once more, Eroni Clark. Loud blast, penalty to the South. Ball was available. That was Gary Parker trying to get the game going from inside his own 22, but there was no support for him there when he laid the ball back. And once again, the All Blacks are in charge. Lovely out there again to Bishop, to Stensness. Bishop on the loop, but well tackled that time by Michael Dodds. And it's Hewitt. Storming Norman has scored. It's his second try of the match. And he's having some day. This is the fellow who understudies the All Blacks captain, Sean Fitzpatrick. But he's having a very good tour indeed.
Stephen Bishop on the loop there. Once again, keeping the ball alive despite two tacklers. Norm Hewitt grabs it off him. Tony Stanger drifting out wide. And there just wasn't enough cover there. A great try for Norm Hewitt.
Watch for the dummy from the from the hooker. Here he goes. Fancy a Hawke's Bay hooker giving a dummy. I don't know what will happen next. 51 points to 5.
I've been very impressed with the referee today. He's been keeping the ball alive. He's been allowing the players to take advantage if the other team has a knock-on, which he showed there earlier on in that passage of play, which allowed the All Blacks to eventually score.
Shane Howarth then. He's missed it. The shock round the ground can be felt everywhere. But nonetheless, he's having a great day, and it was a very good try indeed. Where the hooker appeared from, well, you can see he was standing off the maul there. And Hewitt there taking the ball. Watch the dummy. There he goes. And the acceleration. He's 17 stones, and he took off so quickly. Very impressive. Steve Gordon once more. He's bidding for a place in the national side. And he's had a magnificent game up in the air today, if I can put it like that, both at the line out and at the restart kicks, and it's so important. Preston once more, that awkward ball into the sun. The All Blacks know that the sun is a factor. And there the big drive goes in once again. Preston, Bishop, missed out Stesnes. Oh, lovely stuff to Stesnes. It's from Mark Ellis, and it's a bust away for Howard, the fullback, and he's going to score his second try of the match, and he seems to be heading for all kinds of point-scoring records. 56 points for the All Blacks, and Shane Howard with his second try.
Well, it's not really as if they need any luck, but that bounce unfortunately eluded Michael Dodds, and Shane Howard was up to follow Lee Stesnes' kick and straight in there for the easiest of tries.
He is so pacey as a fullback, and his feel for position is extremely good. High vision. No wonder he scored so many tries in provincial rugby this season. Shane Howard again with yet another successful conversion. That's 2 tries, a couple of penalty goals, and 6 conversions. I'll have to work that out in due course. I wasn't very hot at mathematics at school, but it's getting kind of difficult now with the All Blacks 58-5 ahead. They played only 6 minutes of the second half. Chalmers drawing it back. Taken on there by Macomb. Redfern, Chalmers, missed out to Nicholl. This is Michael Dodge in the line. Out there to Stanger. Stanger trying to go past Rush. One of the passes was forward. New Zealand scrimmage. Gary Isaac on this side of the front row for the south of Scotland. Used to play for the Murray Club in the northeast. Hails from Dufftown up there, now on his home ground here at Netherdale. Plays for Gala. Now there's the first phase possession from the scrimmage. Preston trying to go. And this would be second phase. And now to Stesnes. Ronnie Clark's a big, powerful lad. You look at that, chucking fellas off. Well over 14 stones, up to halfway. And then the juggernaut comes in and lays it back, and Preston goes once again, beautifully out to Howarth once more. Howarth chased by Parker. He's got Ronnie Clark inside him. Clark gives it on to Zinzan Brooke, his fourth try for the New Zealand skipper. Well, this, I reckon, is one of the most enterprising and one of the most skillful flank forwards in the business, certainly that I've ever seen. And his fourth try came like this.
There we go, John Preston missing out Ronnie Clark straight across to Shane Howarth there, who shows quite a good turn of speed there. Gary Parker struggling to get back to him, just getting him now, keeping the ball alive, which is the secret of the All Blacks. Ronnie Clark, who's having a stormer of a game, staying on his feet once again, and Zinzan Brooke up there. Doesn't press the ball down. A bit of arrogance there from the All Black captain. Straight inside, and then presses it down for the try.
Zinzan Brooke showing there some of the sevens flair that he's shown at the Hong Kong Sevens when captain of the New Zealand side. Meanwhile, Shane Howarth. Oh, just a little flick for him. No bother whatsoever. The support work was quite magnificent. Preston starting it first of all, and then this flaring pace by Howard, but got caught eventually by Parker. Ronnie Clark is such a strong man, was able to stay on his feet. Now watch the little tweak here. Yeah, get on. A little bit further. 65-6. Chalmers kick a bit too far. Blair Larson once again. The two big guys, 65 points to 5 the score, and Blair Larson, one of the many big guys in this New Zealand forward pack, taking the ball out of the air like a basketball player. Steve Bishop, who, as I said, played 4 times for Western Samoa in the World Cup, been outstanding for the Otago against the British Lions, the recent tour. Half a metre either side, David Matthews tells them.
South will be going wide again, Bill, if they can get the ball. A good jump by Donnie Ware.
Nicely fed back from Hay. Chalmers. Shield. Missed out everybody. Taken by Stanger. Stanger thrown down by Ellis. Almost up to halfway. Preston once again. Guess who? Norman Hewitt. The Hawke's Bay battering ram goes on. Derek Turnbull was offside, but got back onside again. Rush goes. Now it's Larson once more. Great running by Rush. Rush is going to sail in. He gives it instead to John Mitchell, and that'll be a very popular try down Waikato way. John Mitchell, the number 8 forward, the scorer. One of the most respected leaders in New Zealand rugby.
Here we go again. Eric Rush straight out to Blair Larson, who's may have found a new role as a blindside flanker after playing most of his career at lock. Lee Stesnes there again. Eric Rush cutting inside past Craig Chalmers, and a nice little basketball over the top pass to John Mitchell for another try.
Howarth again. Yet another conversion sails between the posts. I reckon he's got 34 points. 72 points to 5 New Zealand win. It's the way the fellows transfer the ball here, the timing of the pass, the powerful running, getting the pass out of the tackle is the key thing. Stensnes was the man who sent Rush away, and then you see that lovely little basketball lob pass. Superb rugby. Chalmers, Steve Gordon that time. So important to be efficient and effective at restart kicks, both the other teams and your own. Zinzan Brooke, who's such a powerful fellow for a flank forward. South scrimmage. And as Sean was saying earlier on, David Matthews is giving a very impressive refereeing performance. He's really going out of his way to help the fellows to play rugby and to keep the ball going, keep the move going, keep the continuity going. You'll be hoarse at the end of it, mind you, because he does a pretty good running commentary, actually. But there, pick up by Rennick. Redpath. Nothing wrong with that, shouts the referee, and it's the burst away by Richard Froment, the big lad from Auckland, who's on his first All Blacks tour. Preston out to Bashop. Bashop again with that searing pace of his. Tries to cut inside Michael Dodds. Ernie Clark is up there first of all, but a loud blast, I think, preventing release of the ball. All Blacks going for the tap. On there to Allen. Drive on by Hewitt. John Amos for the South, helped by Doddy Weir. South scrummage. And interesting there that Blair Larson, the big Lockett flank forward, is standing out amongst the centres as a spare centre there. So that the All Blacks very aware of where they can make an extra man. Very aware of the number of players they need to win the ball so that the others can stand off. See there, that surging driving play. Let him have it stay there. And it's Brian Redpath who clears.
The All Blacks are basically just spoiling any ball that's trying to come the South's way. Wheeling the scrum there, making it very difficult for them to do anything but kick the ball out, which is very frustrating for the South backs.
Norman Hewitt, who plays for the Napier Tech down in Hawke's Bay, captain of Hawke's Bay, beat the Lions. Drive on there magnificently by Gordon. He's having a very good match indeed. The big Waikato lock forward. Mitchell, the other Waikato, number 8, taking it on. And now it's out nicely to Bashop, the dummy to Stesnes, Ellis, Ernie Clark. He's caught by Scott Nicholl. They're within 10 metres of the South line and they're coming on the other flank. Bashop once again misses out Stensnes. Now it's out to Howard. Howard bursting through. Great tackle by Turnbull. Lovely catch and try for Ellis. Ellis, the replacement, has scored it. And it was a beautiful bit of sleight of hand by him.
Yep, always willing to have a go is Shane Howard. Spots a gap there inside Gary Parker. Even the tackle by Derek Turnbull, not enough. And this Mark Ellis cuts an impressive figure, very quick.
Yes, it's the slick transference of the ball here, and then this ability to burst one tackle and then still keep the ball alive. And Ellis, that was lovely skill from him. So the crowd very quiet indeed because, well, South of Scotland have such a record and they are the reigning Scottish district champions, but you can see the crowd really stunned by the extent of New Zealand dominance. 77 points to 5. I know that an All Black side has scored over 100 points down in Australia. We've still got 25 minutes to go in this one. Makes you wonder. Shane Howard getting peace and quiet to kick and almost pulling it back. It was a good effort by him. He'll be disappointed at having missed it because he's getting near 50 points himself. But it's 77-5, 16 minutes of the second half played. Chalmers changing the type of kick, and I must say I often wonder why players don't try that type of kick much more often. Far more difficult to deal with along the floor. Chalmers very high. Ronnie Clark went for it. There was a knock-on. Referee deciding that the advantage wasn't going to accrue to the South, so he's given them the scrummage. I think they would rather have waited for an advantage because, as I say, they're packing against fellows who are virtually 2 stones a man heavier, and it must begin to tell about now. That's on to Shield, to Chalmers. Here's a Melrose move for you. Chalmers still. Half caught by Mitchell. And once again the tackling with the drive on by Robbie Brown. Listen to the crowd now. Redpath trying to burrow over. They're as close as that to the New Zealand line. Robbie Brown once again. But the black wall has remained firm so far. And because the South took the ball forward and were stopped, New Zealand get the put in.
So close yet so far. What's happening is they just can't get the quick ball back. And that's what's happening. The All Blacks are just killing it, allowing them 2 vital seconds.
Jim Hay, the South hooker, I think is bound to try and go for one against the head here, because there's no way one would imagine that the South forwards will push the Blacks back. Well, they seem to go for an 8-man right enough. But it was a free kick for a Squint put in. Fancy a New Zealand scrum half putting an away ball in Squint shot.
Unheard of.
So it's Redpath, Chalmers, Scott Nicol. He was passing the ball before he'd quite caught it. Very unlucky, the young fella. Scott Nicol, who played for the Scottish schools in New Zealand back in 1988. And has really tremendous pace, but hasn't had a chance to show it today.
I think Scott was just being reintroduced to the ball there. He hadn't seen it for the last 50 minutes.
Clearance by Howard. Good positioning by the fullback, and a nippy pass from John Preston of Wellington. Shane Howard, you remember this day through all his days, I'm pretty sure. Blair Larson at the tail. The feed on there to Froment. The drive on by Steve Gordon. All 3 big men in action there. Now it's Preston once again to Larson. This is copybook rugby football. Total rugby football. Holding it in the tackle. Held it too long. When you go in the tackle, you must do something with the ball immediately, the law says. A lot of options when you go down, but it's got to be done quickly. Chalmers kicking for touch, and Craig Chalmers, who I don't suppose has ever had an experience like this, certainly not in his 33 internationals, of having been up against it for so long in one match. Well, there's a move on here, and there you can see the All Blacks superior in virtually every phase. Good drive over the border forwards. Now it's Chalmers. That's a switch to Stanger. Stanger caught by Bashop, still on the New Zealand 22. They haven't recycled it, but they've got the penalty from it. Preventing the ball from being released in the tackle. An arm was underneath and stopping the ball from coming out. Redpath to Brown. Well, one wouldn't imagine that's the best way for the South to break through. However, here's the back division move coming. Well, it's in fact Derek Turnbull standing off, doing a bit of All Black work. Redpath burrows. Steady on. Steady on with your feet, says the referee.
It's very noticeable in their play that the All Blacks managed to keep the ball in tight if the opposition have it. They make sure that the ball's not released, and they ultimately get the put in. Must be frustrating for the South backs.
They're about 15 metres out from the All Blacks line, but look at that scrummage drive. The extra weight beginning to tell now as Preston feeds Stensness. It's a big kick up to Michael Dodds. And he's annoyed, he put it straight out. He was harassed, of course, initially by Ernie Clark, and Zinzan Brooke was there as well. Typical of the intense pressure that All Blacks tend to put on the opposition. "18 lineouts in this match, 52 they tell me in the England A match, so it shows you the type of rugby football we've seen here this afternoon. It's been a joy to watch. Loud blast for obstruction at the line out. Border crowd don't agree with the referee. Purvis feeds on to Mitchell. Larson lays it back. Preston caught in there amongst the forwards. So Bishop comes in, as his brother Graham did for New Zealand in 19 test matches. Mitchell. There's the layback. Drive by Allen. Allen of Taranaki driving. And it's Preston once again to Bishop. Stensness. Bishop on the loop. That was one pass which didn't quite go to the right place. Golly, there haven't been many from New Zealand this afternoon. Ball had been knocked forward initially, no advantage. Robbie Brown trying to give a real captain's lead there to the south.
That's a feature of the All Blacks players. As soon as they make a mistake, they make sure that the other team can't take any advantage, and they close down the space very, very quickly.
Craig Chalmers did well. That was a great bit of work by him, but Mitchell got in the way of the pass. Drive on by Purvis. Purvis, the oldest fellow in the field in the New Zealand side at 32. Preston, Bishop, missed out Stensness again. This is Ellis. Ellis, big, strong, fast. Couldn't quite find his wing there. Eric Rush was over there as well, and Shane Howard, the fullback, was outside. And so some very good running by the fullback, who's come in at different places, causing all kinds of trouble for the South defence, that time outside his wing.
That's a good cover tackle there by Scott Nicola, who had to turn and come inside, as Mike Ellis had got on the outside of Graham Shield there. He's trying his hardest.
So they've played, what, 24 minutes of the second half. It's 77 points to 5 for the All Blacks, and they're inside the South 22. 11 tries so far in the match, but that's Derek Turnbull feeding out to Gary Isaac. New Zealand with 11 tries to 1, so 12 altogether. Some display.
There's a classic example of the weight of the tackle there. There was a winger tackling the South prop, Gary Isaac, and knocking him straight into touch.
Norman Hewitt scored a try against the Northern Division and has scored a couple today. 3 on the tour so far. Lovely work by Preston. Bishop taking the ball so flat. Bishop still gets support from Mitchell. Mitchell, the big number 8 forward, has been very prominent today in support work. Blair Larson as well. It was a super bit of work here. Bishop taking the ball so flat and so close and finding oceans of space there. Caught by Tony Stanger. South clearing up there to Eric Rush. Along the line there to Ernie Clark. They're over the 10 metres line. Ernie Clark again, the surging pace. Up into the 22. Preston. Rush. Larson standing out there. Still 10 metres inside the South 22. New Zealand penalised for... yes, there was a little bit of flicking back there by Blair Larson when he was on the floor. When you're down there, you have to leave the ball alone. Craig Chalmers to touch. And the crowd very quiet here indeed. They've had so little to enthuse over, except that one try by Gary Parker. It's been backs to the wall all the way through for the South, and this has been a mightily impressive New Zealand performance. Zinzan Brooke at the tail, marked by John Amos. Wrong arm being used there. You've got to go up with 2 hands or use the inside arm. You can't use it to lean on people anymore. Derek Turnbull drives, good layback. Brian Redpath. Redpath out to Chalmers. Chalmers on to Amos. Amos, nice overhead pass to Nicholl. Out there to Shield. Shield to Parker. Parker It really needed a left-footed kick, but the referee deciding there was a bit of obstruction, I think. Oh, in fact, yes, took him out after the kick, the referee said. You can see it here. This is Gary Parker going. Now, it really needed, I think, a little left-footer from there, but you can see how he was obstructed, I think, by Richard Cromwell. Anyway, it's the penalty, and it's Chalmers. So Nicol to Turnbull. Turnbull caught by Zinzan Brooke. Nice pick up and drive by Scott McComb of Selkirk. Big day for him, his first appearance for the South. Imagine making your debut against the All Blacks when you're 77-5 down. All Black hand. Referee insisting that they don't take the penalty yet. He wanted to make sure that there was no serious injury. You can, of course, take a penalty if players are in front of you. That's Chalmers going. Yes, you're allowed to take a free kick or a penalty, even if players are in front of you nowadays, but provided they don't interfere. But there, the referee wanted to make absolutely sure no one was injured.
Yes, the All Blacks are putting in some telling tackles. The referee missed one a while back. John Mitchell put a tackle on Jim Hay, which was very, very late.
Still about 12 minutes of the match to go. Once again, the link absolutely secure. Those two halfbacks have played pretty steadily for New Zealand today, haven't they, Sean?
Yes, John Preston, who's the test incumbent at the moment. Yeah, very impressive. He knows exactly what he's going to do at every scrum and every line-out. And there's Roy Laidlaw and Jim Telfer. I'm sure they'll be interested with this particular performance from the All Blacks.
This line out just outside the All Black 22. Nicely taken at the back and the drive on. But Robbie Brown, and he wasn't actually held, so he was able to get up and play it again. Now it's nicely out to Chalmers. Chalmers to Shield. Shield caught by Bashir and by Zinzan Brooke. Lovely pick up by Dodds. Out there to Nicol. Nicol to Stanger. Stanger going outside his man. Good tackle by Bashir. Great cover by the standoff half. And a copybook tackle by him. Dead path to Brown. But there you see the offensive tackling there of the New Zealanders. Chalmers with a chip through. He could score. Can he get there first? Beaten to it by Bashir. And so great effort by the South to add to that 5 points of theirs.
That was the best passage of play there, Bill, by the South team there. Quick second phase ball, taking a leaf out of the All Blacks book there, and Craig Chalmers wasn't too far away.
Howard with the restart. Beautifully back from Larson. Drive on again by Hewitt. As I say, he's like a steam engine when he gets going, the Hawke's Bay hooker. We're just wondering if this is a record score by a touring side, but in fact New Zealand scored 125 points against Northern New South Wales in 62, but Western Samoa ran up 128 against Marlborough not so long ago. So there are the statistics. You notice John Preston with all that ball that he's received and has passed it 51 times out of 56. Good for him. South scrummage going backwards. It was through 90 degrees in the end, but in fact the South are on the retreat there. And the trouble with that is that you can mount so very little from a scrummage that is creaking backwards. See again, the squeeze is on. Redpath did well. Chalmers, Nicol, out to Dodds. Oh, lovely play by Ellis. Ellis, and there to Ronnie Clark, almost up to the 22. Stensness in there as well. It's Preston, on to Allen. Turnbull in there trying to wrench the ball clear. That was a good bit of work by the South flank forward, Derek Turnbull. He really did prevent the New Zealanders from winning that second phase. And there's Derek Turnbull, who's known by his pals as Sticks. He's got 14 caps. First played for Hawick as a 17-year-old and for the South as an 18-year-old back in 1980. He's done it again, put it in squint. Sean, I don't know what the game's coming to.
I think there's a bit of a lean on the ground here, leaning away.
Chalmers. Scott Nicol. There's the pace I was talking about. Michael Dodds couldn't hold it. You've got about 8 minutes of the match to go, and that's Scott Nicol, who, as I say, is such a very quick little fella, 23-year-old. He's in the fire service. And he toured with Scotland in the South Pacific during the summer. Played in 4 of the 7 matches, actually. There's a signal passed along the line to tell them what might be on, but it's the New Zealand put in, so all that can be on for the South players, I think, is to tackle, tackle, tackle. Derek Turnbull gets a new jersey. South 10 metres line. Pick up by Mitchell. Good tackle by Amos. Pressed nicely on to Hewitt. He's well tackled by Chalmers, who's done well in his tackling shows today. Now when the dent is made, up there comes Howard. Gets the ball beautifully from his stand-off half. Deep inside the South 22. See, Howarth, number 15, is still there. But they get it back to Redpath. And Redpath clears. Little Brian Redpath, the scrum half, who's had such a very good season, was outstanding for Scotland in the South Pacific. But he's had a rough day today, and he's stuck to it well. It's the quick throw-in. Didn't quite come to fruition, and indeed the All Blacks will be disappointed that they've wasted that one, holding on too long on the floor.
Great play by Jim Hay there. He managed to keep the ball in tight and swallow up the halfback there, John Preston, giving away a penalty.
Ten penalties to 4. 10 against the South. Graham Shield. In fact, the South of Scotland had got the 10 penalties to 4, so they've been less guilty in the game, but it's been a super game from that point of view. So few penalties in the match. 6 minutes of the match to go. It's 77 points to 5. 12 handsome tries. Hayes throw. Robbie Brown gets it. Redpath to Chalmers. To Scott Nicol. Missed out everybody to Stanger. Stanger going hard over the 22. Super tackle by Howard. And little Gary Parker was in there as well. So both the wingers were right over on that far side. There is Parker. And it was a very good move, but tremendous defence by New Zealand. They missed so few tackles.
Yes, that was great play. A lovely pass there. Straight to Tony Stanger, outside Eric Rush. Second time he's had to stretch his legs. Good tackle by Shane Howarth though, and Gary Parker. Just a bit too late there.
Howarth with the restart. South forming quite an effective block there, and in that ruck it was handled, but the referee decided it had been knocked back in, so he's giving a scrummage. Yes, it had gone forward first of all. Insisting that the scrum halves get the ball in quickly. Bishop, he hasn't kicked it. Well, he hasn't done that much today, I must say. Back there goes Tony Stanger. Michael Dodds sets off. The Gala crowd have seen him do this so often for their first 15 this season. But there, the support just wasn't dynamic enough, and well, you can see the dynamic work there on the floor by the New Zealanders. They're so quick to the main chance. However, here's the counter-attack. Dodds again. Inside to Tony Stanger. The feed on to Amos. Good work by the South. Taken on by Robbie Brown. A loud blast as the body went over the top. The crowd will want the South to move it. Robbie Brown, the captain, takes it. A lone charge. And there, clumsy footwork by the South, and they've given it away. Preston going. Hewitt thundering on. Up to the South 10 metres line. Now to Stensness. Along the line to Ellis. Ellis to Eroni Clark. He's caught by Nicol and put down. Now Graham Shield has it, but the South support was not there in numbers. However, they've been penalised for playing the ball on the ground, going over the front and playing it. Chalmers again, not his best. Howard has bags of time. Well, this is a joy for the crowd. The fullback running with it out to Eric Rush. Now he can shift as well, but so can Scott Nicol. Tackled by John Amos. New Zealand 10 metres line. New Zealand forwards always go forward. Zinzan Brooke with the pass. Now it's Bishop. Out there to Hewitt. Eroni Clark is against Michael Dodds. Clark inside, outside. Good tackle by Dodds. Now, was that immediate? Hewitt churning on. And it's a try for the scrum half, John Preston. It was a magnificent bit of work.
Yeah, Ronnie Clark, I don't know if he was still tackled. Only one leg there. Mark Allen, who hasn't really featured in this game, unlike Norm Hewitt there, going straight in his direct style there. A good tackle by young Brian Redpath there, but once again it's a support play from John Preston.
And that really has been the feature. Now just watch and see here, Eroni Clark was held, and one knee is actually a tackle, and some people would say he should have released it a bit earlier, but the support to it was marvellous. Gordon there giving the scoring pass to Preston. $32 points for Shane Howarth so far. Has he pulled it round enough? Indeed he has. So another conversion for him. You can see touches of Grant Fox about this young fella. He plays for Auckland, of course, and has had a lot of advice from Grant Fox, and he seems to have the same kind of style in his kicking routine. Referee's whistle has gone for the end of the match, and that has been a genuine spectacular. 84 points to 5. The All Blacks have beaten the South, and that's certainly